Alright guys, we'll give you a little update on Patch's 1965 C10. Show you where we're at. I'm just doing a little piddling, kind of give you all a little bit of update on the truck. I bought some of these, they're aftermarket control arms, but man, they were so cheap I couldn't resist them. They come with brand new ball joints, I mean, crossbar, everything already in it. I had to do a little notching on these, and if you're running drop spindles, you guys may have to do this, but they made this area here a little long, so I just come in here and ground a little here because it was rubbing. You can see where I've ground just a little off the top of the spindle. It was hitting here, so we couldn't go lock to lock with the front end, so we took minimal off. I mean, basically you can see about what I took off of it. We just kind of ground it, smoothed it up. I painted it the other day, and we're probably gonna throw them together here real quick. But and also down here earlier, I didn't video this because it's pretty simple, but we notched out here for the steering because we moved the steering up, trying to get everything good and square under the truck where to steer good. Because from the factory, this stuff really not square. I like to have my drag links and stuff parallel with the front. And also, I like to have them level. So we're trying to get all this steering geometry fixed up. So what we had to do is you can see the original hole back here. We moved the steering box back about 1 inch and probably up a 1/2 inch. But we're keeping the same angle and stuff on the pitman arm, but moved back. But the problem we ran into is here is where all this bracing comes together. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the plasma cutter next week, maybe if you guys wanna check that out. I'm gonna cut just a little slot here, and I'm gonna go over on the lathe and turn a solid piece of rod and just drill and tap it. And we're gonna TIG it into here to where this has a bolt to go in. And under the front end where we've moved it, you can see here these bolting piece for the cross member, whatever you want to call it. I got to make some plugs for this to where we can get this bolted back together. I have a few videos on MIG and TIG on patches, so you can patch in these places on the firewall. We just shaved it because we're going to do vintage air, heating and air and stuff in this. A lot of this is going to be gone. So we just slicked all the unnecessary holes on the firewall. And we had to do the same thing on this side. We just taped everything back up. And I'm gonna throw all this back together real quick. We'll let her down and see where she's at. Let me know down in the comments which you guys would rather see in this truck, a 327 or 350. I'm gonna throw this thing up on a quick time lapse, and we're gonna chunk these control arms together and get her sitting back down on the little rollies over here. And we'll get this part at least wrapped up today. And I forgot to show you this. These are the pieces that we cut out when we was doing notch. It really don't need this much notch. I just wanted plenty of clearance so nothing would rub, but it don't. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this piece I cut out, and I'm just gonna move it up here right to the top of the notch. And we're gonna just hold it. I'm gonna just box these back in and weld it back in, and it's gonna look just like a factory piece. But I had those for both sides. Like I said, it don't need near this clearance because this is not going to move once the steering box is locked down, but I just gave it about 3/4 inch clearance just to be safe. And like I said, we're going to box all this back in. All right, guys, let's get to the time lapse, get this front end put together. Let's get a quick measurement here. Right now she's roughly 7.5 inches off the cross member. Like I said, no engine, no transmission. What we're going for is a 4-inch rod height off the bottom of the front cross member. That's pretty good. I have a Nissan hardbody that I've driven for 20 years that's 2.5 inches off the front tow hooks off the ground, and it's static dropped, and I've had no trouble at it. So we're gonna try to get this truck here pretty daggone low. That's the big thing with this body style truck here, the way that the fenders and stuff sit so high and they're so long. You really got to get these things really squished on the ground to make them look right. But as you can see, all the steering and everything is good and parallel. I mean, this is It's more parallel than it was running back forward. And that's what I was always taught building hot rods is your drag links and stuff. You need everything good parallel, level, and everything at ride height. And you can see we're actually cambered out at the top, but we still got a big wad of spacers here. So, and look at the ball joint angles. A lot of times when you start getting these things low, they start getting these weird ball joint angles all jacked up. I mean, these things are basically in stock position. I love these pancake cross members. These things solve all the problems I think that Chevrolet had in these with, you know, your control arms are not as close to the ground. I mean, we got ultimate clearance under this truck. I'm going to have to figure out a shock, though, because we are going to run, and I may run a hot rod shock. The thing I like about these, they don't come up through the coils like a lot of them do. So they're external mounted, so we're going to make some cool brackets or something like that for the shocks. We may have to run, like I said, a little hot rod shock on it because we want it to ride good. We want it to look, basically my goal is to make it look undrivable, but something you can drive on a daily basis and not have any trouble. Another thing I need you guys to help me decide on, and I'm in between, I have both. So the deciding thing earlier was a 327 or 350. Also, either I'm going to run a turbo 350 automatic, which is in the 72. Actually, if I'd run the 350 in the automatic, I could just take it out of the 72 and whoop, put it right in here, and we could be running a weekend probably. But I have a Saginaw 4-speed and a Muncie 4-speed I could put in it. So you guys decide down below, and we'll see what kind of reaction we get. If you think it's worth putting a 4-speed in, not putting a 4-speed in, just let me know down below. Right now, the back is sitting on the axle. That's going to be ride height. I've done a lot of measuring before we pulled the coils out. They make a 6-inch drop coil spring. It goes in here, and we'll do that. It's got 2-inch blocks under the back. So it's going to have an 8-inch drop on the back. We're going to do inside. I'm not going to do a monster knot. I'm going to come in here and just come up like a little one and plate it. Then we'll probably box this back here, and I may do a little reinforcement up here, but we're going to do an underbed notch. I don't want no junk sticking up through the bed, even though it don't have a bed floor. Also, I'm trying to decide, I mean, I guess I could. Here's what kind of content you guys want to see. It's got the doors. Now, I can come back and I can repatina all this after I fix it. The doors have a couple little drainage issues here in the bottom. It's not bad. I have a whole door bottom I can put on it, but I don't know. See, these rockers down here, I matched the patina on this. A lot of people frown upon it, but I'm not trying to faux tina a truck. I mean, this thing's real deal. But I am trying to, if I repair stuff, I want it to look like it hadn't been repaired. This truck here, this is all fake patina in here. It's got new rockers. Come up to here, it's got new cab corners. I think they come up to here, wrap all the way around. It's got new cab corners. I'll prove to you that they're new. Still got the sticker on them where they're welded in. We repaired a lot of the floor. You can see where I've shaved that. I hadn't painted all the back sides and stuff yet. Yeah, we put new cab corners all the way around. Color is a little off. It's a little darker. I'm going to try to find something closer to this, and we'll kind of smush it into it. But it is all new cab corners down through here on both sides. New rockers, inner and outer rocker. All that good stuff. But I think it turned out good. I mean, it's not perfect, but it was actually funner doing this fake patina stuff on this truck than it is putting a $100,000 paint job on a car, I think. How nice those doors shut, those stock latches. I was going to upgrade to bear claws and stuff, but man, these things just shut so nice. The worst part on this truck is this side's not as bad, the drip rail here. I saw a lot of guys just get rid of these because it does roll out, so it's going to deflect rain around. And I need to put weather stripping in it. But what do you guys think I ought to do on this? I think I was just going to drill the spot welds out, treat this, and get it in a little faux thinner paint here. Get that back pretty good. I'm also looking, let me know down in the comments below if you guys, are they repopping these West Coast, like camper truck mirrors or whatever? Thought about getting some. Got a ton of holes. We can weld them up and fix them or put them on, but what do you guys think it look like some West Coast? Is anybody repopping them? I figure they're expensive if you can find decent ones. Yeah, that's about where we stand. We a couple weeks from Christmas right here. Hope you guys have a safe and Merry Christmas. Just want to give y'all a little update. I don't have anything real major going on that I could do. I'm going to try to maybe get y'all a video out next week. We're just going to see how busy I get. I got a set of 15 by 8.5 for the rear American Torque Thrust D's, the gray centers, and our 15 6s for the front, I think. Trying to decide on a rear tire size. I'm deciding between that's a 255/70 like a lot of people runs, or the 275/60 right now. So some of you C10 guys chime in. What do y'all think? I saw both. I don't know which I like better. I don't want a big huge Bobo tire under the back of it, but the 275 is wider, but it's an inch shorter, I think. But that 255 looks pretty good too. So I got a lot of questions for you guys. I need y'all to help me figure out what I need to do this thing. All right, guys, that was a quick wrap on this little video on patches. I just want to walk you around, show you what we're doing, what we're going to be doing. So like I said, make sure you drop all that down in the bottom if you want to see certain things done, or if you just want to follow along. Like, subscribe, comment. It really helps this channel. Ring that notification bell so you know every time I'm down here in the shop. Also, I have a playlist on this truck. It shows pancaking the crossmember. Everything we've done to this truck, it's in a playlist. I think it's 1965 Patches C10 I have up there, so go check that out. Thank you to all you veterans out there that makes it possible for me to be able to work on these trucks and cars and all that stuff safely. Because remember, people, freedom ain't free. Somebody had to pay the debt. Also, I want to wish you guys a very safe and Merry Christmas. And remember, be kind to one another. Jesus loves you, so do we. God bless, and we gone.